Here's an easy one. If you're a wanted fugitive and you need a job, then a position opens up with the police department, you might want to skip that one, okay? The Jersey Journal reports that 27-year-old Ziema Y. Johnson was wanted by authorities in Monroe County, Pennsylvania for failure to appear in court on charges of fraud, as well as an additional 10 bench warrants for failure to appear in court on traffic charges in Jersey City, New Jersey. So, of course, what did she do next? She applied for a job as a security guard with the Hudson County Sheriff's Office in New Jersey, which, ironically enough, is the law enforcement agency that specializes in picking people wanted for outstanding warrants. After the validity of the warrants was confirmed, Johnson was called in under the impression it was for a job interview, but of course it wasn't. She was taken into custody, a spokesman for the sheriff's office said. But wait, there's more! During the routine inventory of Johnson's property following her arrest, sheriff's officers discovered that she was in possession of 2 credit cards believed to be stolen, and so she was subsequently charged with credit card theft. On top of that, the United States Postal Investigative Service have also launched an investigation, since Johnson previously worked for the Postal Service, so who knows what kind of shenanigans may have gone on there.
I guess North Carolina Ned wasn't available. WGHP Fox 8 reports that a food production company called T.W. Garner Foods is being sued because their Texas Pete hot sauce isn't actually made in Texas. It's made in North Carolina. A man from Los Angeles claims he didn't know that and has filed a class action lawsuit against Garner Foods for alleged false advertising. According to the complaint, Philip White was at Ralph's grocery store in Los Angeles when he bought a $3 bottle of Texas Pete back in September 2021. White relied upon the language and images displayed on the front label of the product, and at the time of purchase, understood the product to be a Texas product. To his shock, he later discovered that Texas Pete is not actually a product of Texas, the complaint said. So why is Texas Pete called Texas Pete? On the brand's website, TexasPete.com, they explain that Sam Garner and his sons Thad, Ralph, and Harold were trying to come up with a name for their hot sauce when they turned to their marketing advisor. The advisor recommended Mexican Joe to connote the piquant flavor reminiscent of the favorite food of our neighbors to the south. Nope, said the patriarch of the Garner family, according to the website, it's got to have an American name. Sam suggested they move across the border to Texas, which also had a reputation for spicy cuisine. Then he glanced at son Harold, whose nickname was Pete, and the Texas Pete Cowboy was born. Philip White says that had he known Texas Pete wasn't made in Texas, he wouldn't have bought the hot sauce, or would have at least paid less for it. And he believes he's not the only one. His complaint, filed on behalf of all people in the U.S. who have purchased Texas Pete, asks the court to force Texas Pete to change its name and branding and to pay up. Maybe the origin of Texas Pete is a question mark, but I'll tell you what isn't. The point of this lawsuit, it's a cash grab.
MLive.com reports that Michigan residents are being advised to not eat produce from an area farm called Country Gardens due to the farm's use of raw, untreated human waste as fertilizer. The Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, or MDARD, issued the warning after a routine safety inspection revealed Country Gardens was using raw, untreated human waste on fields where produce was grown for sale to local grocery stores and direct sales. The use of raw, untreated human waste is a violation of Michigan food law, as well as other state and federal regulations. And for good reason. Human waste can carry diseases such as hepatitis A, E. coli, rotavirus, and norovirus. One local business called White Lotus Farms in Ann Arbor was quick to sever ties with Country Gardens and urged clientele through social media to throw out any Country Garden items purchased at their place of business. In an interview with WDIV News 4 in Detroit, Country Gardens owner Andy Stutzman described the contamination as an honest mistake, stemming from the improper disposal of waste from an outhouse. Stutzman added the company will halt all sales for the remainder of the year as a precaution. MDARD seized all remaining produce being grown at country gardens to prevent it being sold for human or animal consumption. That's too bad. Maybe they could have called Joe Rogan to pitch a new idea for Fear Factor.
If Google's heard about this one, I wonder if they're already attempting to change the town name to YouTube Village. Millions of people around the world today are making money as YouTubers, and the India Time reports that a small village in India has turned into a YouTube hub, with a large percentage of locals creating content for the online video sharing platform. About 1,000 out of the 3,000 people living in Tulsi Village in Raipur, or about 30% of its population, is made up of YouTubers who create content to earn a livelihood. Many have even left respected positions in other industries to start a YouTube channel. One was a network engineer. Another earned a Master of Science degree in chemistry and worked as a teacher, but now earns more than double with YouTube what he made in his previous profession. It is also empowering women in the town. As artist and YouTuber Pinky Sahu explains, everyone can participate. She says that women there are generally not allowed to step out of their house, but YouTube has provided them with an option to do something. Tulsi Village also has many people involved with Ramlila, which is a traditional form of acting involving song. From young children to the elderly, many enjoy this art form and are now good at it, but never had the opportunity or platform to showcase their skills. But all of that has now changed through their YouTube channels. I guess it's a sign of the times. Eventually, there just might be a YouTube Village, or a Twitch town, perhaps even TikTok City. And imagine if someday, 30% of some town is overrun with OnlyFans models and wants to change their town name. What would they call it? Leave your suggestions in the comments below.
Back to the farm theme for this one, but thank goodness no human poop in the fields this time. It's not uncommon to see unmanned fruit and vegetable stands in a small town like Hancock County, Indiana. You know, the kind of place where people stop at their leisure, gather a few items from local farmers, put the money in a box, and the whole thing is based on an unspoken honor system. Well, according to the Greenfield Reporter, that small town trust was broken by a 67-year-old local woman, no less. According to the Hancock County Sheriff's Department, Teresa Lynn Kiner had been not only stealing corn from a local stand on a regular basis, but she had also taken cash from the deposit box in the sum of between $1,000 and $3,000. Damn, that's a lot of corn. The victim was able to identify at least 18 different times they were robbed by Kiner, who was arrested and charged with 18 level 6 felony counts of theft. The victim said that they typically start the day with some $1 bills and loose change totaling about $10 for customers to make change for the corn they purchase, but that recently they had been having some theft of the money, and she suspected a particular female who had visited the stand. So they set up a camera facing the self-serve money bin next to the corn for sale. While they could not capture a license plate, they were able to get an image of a face. So they placed the woman's photo on Facebook to seek assistance from the community. The victim was contacted by some of the woman's family members, who identified her as Miss Kiner. Kiner eventually admitted she took the money and stated she was having a hard time and has health issues, a police report said. Well, that's too bad. At this time, she's listed as an inmate in the county jail. Good luck getting fresh-picked corn in there.
If you want to see all our videos about real news stories that are funny, stupid, or weird, click the subscribe button below. I mean, hey, my cat's gotta eat.